Thinking about leaving your soul-sucking 9 to 5 job, one of the biggest struggles I see people, especially as women, face is the idea of having that safety net, that enticing perks and benefits, and listening to that head trash of what will people think if I leave. I totally get it, and I've been where you are. That's why I created a free guide to help you if you're thinking about putting in that notice. It's called Unlocking Your Exit Plan. Discover 5 things you need to do before leaving your 9 to 5. This guide is filled with worksheets and steps so you will have hand holding along the way. You can download your copy in the link in the show notes, and again, it's totally free. Now back to today's episode. Hey there, let's face it, today's internet world is so saturated and everyone is fighting for that number one spot to be visible. It is no longer about running ads and having thousands of people on your email list. It is about building relationships and networking with others to grow your business and become visible. Hi, my name is Candace. I'm a podcast launch strategist and I help service-based business owners develop and deliver their message to the world by using platforms like podcasting and bringing valuable content to those who need to hear what they have to say. Welcome to the Hello C.S. Dorsey podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Hello C.S. Dorsey podcast. I have Onyinye, transformational and life and business coach from Holistic Life Purpose. How are you doing today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm awesome. So could you tell everyone about yourself, who you are, and what you do?
Yes, I can. So my name is Onyinye Anike. I am the CEO and founder of Holistic Life Purpose. I am a transformational life and business coach, and I help Christian women, female entrepreneurs step confidently into their power, their purpose, and their potential so they can share their message and build the foundations of a thriving business.
That's so awesome. So could you tell us something about yourself that most people may not know?
I think, what is it that most people don't know? I try to be an open book. So I'm a big foodie. I love to travel.
Okay, so you say you love to travel. So what is your favorite place that you've been to?
Oh, good question. I would say I haven't been to enough places that I would love to go to, but so far I went home. So I'm Nigerian by birth, but I grew up here. I actually grew up in New York. And I went back to Nigeria, and it's such a different culture altogether. So I would say back home to Nigeria, the culture, the smell, the food, just every aspect of it made me feel like I was home, even though I wasn't raised there.
Yeah. It's so interesting how you could just, you can tell and within yourself that this is home or I belong here. And it's so funny how within us, we know and we can feel it. And I think that's a really amazing thing, amazing experience to have.
Yes.
So I'm all about taking action and helping people to take those first steps, whether it be in their business or their life, their health. What advice could you give to our listeners out there and how they can take those first steps to basically get into where they want to go, their ultimate goal?
So ultimately, I think for me, action is about deciding what it is that you want to do and putting it down, either writing it down, declaring it, intentions, and then taking first small action steps. So whatever that may look like, whatever that may be. So for me, like I made the declaration that I wanted to be a coach. And so for me, the first step was going and getting my certification. That was the action. I enrolled in a certification institution so that I could be certified as a coach. So that was the first action. And then after that, everything else kind of just followed because I was already making the decision and taking the action forward towards it. So creating my business and website, and then the rest is all history. But I think the first step should always be make that declaration and set that goal and make the decision to start. Because too often we say we want to start, like you said, either health or we want to change something in our lives, but it stays in our heads and we don't actually move forward with it. And we think about it and we talk about it and we're like, yeah, one day it will happen. And then 20 years later, we're still one daying it instead of actually moving or taking steps forward to start making it a reality for ourselves.
I completely agree with you 100%. So I'm going to pivot a little bit. I want to ask you about, I was reading your bio and I want to ask you about you being diagnosed with cancer. And I thought that was really powerful how you were basically state that in your bio, and you was very, vulnerable about putting that out there. And then the message that you stated after that, basically how you overcame it, and then how you're now shifting in a different direction. And that really caught my eye. Could you talk a little bit about that moment, that experience?
Yeah, sure. So it's so interesting because I say something that people are always like shocked by, and it's that cancer changed the trajectory of my life and shifted my life for the better. I would say because it gave me purpose. It didn't give me purpose and like, oh my God, I didn't have one, but it made it clear to me that I wasn't living my purpose. I wasn't being true to myself. And when I was given that diagnosis and told like I had less than 2 weeks to live because it had progressed so badly, that just shocks you into taking action, into doing some deep self-reflection. And that's what happened for me is after I was diagnosed, and I spent a month in the hospital because they had to test and watch and monitor me and things like that. And so all I had was time, ironically. I was in a hospital bed. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything, just get infusions. And it gave me a real opportunity to just take some time to reflect, some time to really tune into myself and to really connect with God, and realized, I wanted so much more for myself, and that I had been living my life around what other people told me I should be doing and how I should be living my life. And what that led to was a lot of resentment and fear and anger and anxiety. And I was just going through the motion and really not connected to myself, to my higher self, in the way I should have been. And so what this started for me was this like a catalyst for me to start asking questions about, what did I want my life to be? What is the legacy I wanted to leave? What is the impact I wanted to make in my life? How did I want to touch other people and make a difference? And that really started that shift for me. It started a healing journey because I was tired of being tired, of being angry and bitter and all these things. And I made a decision that I was going to change. I was going to start healing. I was going to start making better and different choices and decisions for myself. I was going to connect to my purpose, and I was going to live it out boldly and courageously and confidently. Because for me, what keeps me moving forward is my knowledge and my experience of knowing that like what it feels like not to live with purpose. And then when I got connected to that purpose, what it feels like to live with purpose, and realize how empty life was before that, and how full of joy and intention and gratitude my life is now, because I've gone through what I went through with having cancer, and then through this transformational journey that I call it, that I went on. It really opened my eyes and changed my perspective and shifted just so many things for me.
That's amazing. It's really amazing to hear this, and I'm taking notes. And the decision for you to change started your healing process. And I think that is so powerful, because you could have taken that and then just become the cancer, and ultimately the end result would be, you passing away. But you decided to take something that is life-threatening and change your mindset about it. And it overall changed the trajectory of your life, and the gift that you didn't realize you had in you until that happened. You decided to make it blossom and show it and grow it. And I love the fact also that you stated that listening to other people, how to live and everything, we spend so much of our time thinking about what other people think, or waiting on, permission from other people to do certain things. And I think that is very powerful, how you just switched and just decided, no, I'm going to do this because I'm given a second chance. And it's beautiful. It's very beautiful. It really is. And like I say, I have my general questions, but when something's pressed upon my heart to ask, I have to ask, because it's like, I didn't talk about my general questions that I have normally for my podcast, but oftentimes when someone has been through something, or they may say something, I'm like, no, this might help somebody else. And I'm just praying to God that somebody out there is listening to your story. And so I was like, wait, I can't let this podcast go without, her talking about it, because somebody needs to hear that story.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. Hopefully, I hope it does, stir something in someone, or give them at least the encouragement and motivation to know that it's possible. Anything is, and you can overcome.
That's right. That is right. So what advice would you give yourself 10 years ago?
Good question. What advice would I give myself 10 years ago? 10 years ago, I would give myself the advice to just keep going. I'm not someone who I believe is a quitter. That's one thing about me is I'm always pushing through no matter what challenges come my way. I just pivot if things are not are not really flowing the way I thought it would be. I don't quit. Resiliency is something that I think cultivated in my life. And so what I would tell myself 10 years ago is don't give up or don't feel that these skill sets that you are acquiring. So through my own experience in life, just growing up, that I thought like, I'm not going to use them or I don't need them. They come in handy, especially through cancer, but also as an entrepreneur now, and going through some of the challenges of being an entrepreneur, and just this journey as well. The resiliency piece has really helped me to overcome a lot of challenges and things that I would have considered failures that would have like prior been something that I would have said, okay, I'm not cut out for this, but it has strengthened me and given me the ability to see it from, again, a different perspective. So the resiliency piece, I think, tell myself that, being resilient, keep going, keep pushing forward, even when things don't seem like they make sense right now, there is a higher purpose actually. And so knowing that there is a purpose and that purpose, being grounded in that and aligned to that is like your guiding star. It keeps you moving forward. It keeps you, in the direction that that there's something more and keeps you from losing sight of what that purpose is, but it keeps you from being shaken when there's chaos all around us in the world.
Yes, be resilient. Don't stop. Just keep going and pivot. I love it. I love it so much. So any last minute advice you have for our listeners out there?
My advice is to uncover your purpose. So it's so fun to listen to a TED Talk, and he said it so perfectly. And he said we're operating from one of two places, either a place of purpose and intention or fear. That's the only other choices that we have. And so when you are connected to that purpose, it guides your daily actions. It guides your thoughts, your words, the way you show up in the world, compared to when you're coming from a place of fear where it's more reactive and you shy away from stepping into your greatness. And so I say to uncover your purpose, find what that is and live that daily, because it's a daily thing. It's not like you have your purpose and it's stagnant, it's done. You're constantly walking in it. You're constantly showing up in the world with that purpose and that intention. And it brings you to a place of true, I think, acceptance of yourself, awareness of yourself, and a different perspective compared to when you're coming from a place that is of fear and hiding and playing small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Uncover your purpose. Love it. So where can everyone find you?
Yeah, so you can find me at my name, www.onyinyeanike.com. That's my website. It has all that information on there. Or you can follow me on Instagram, onyinyeanike.com.
Okay. And we want to actually include those in the show notes as well, so everyone can find you. I don't want to end the podcast without mentioning you have a 5-step guide that you want to mention. Go ahead, mention that.
Yeah, sure. So actually, I'll send you another thing. Actually, I totally forgot. So I have a 5-step guide, and that one is more around for entrepreneurial women who are looking to build their business, and just it gives them the 5 steps to, purpose and your person and client attraction and so forth. But I also have a transformed life guide, and that one is all about finding your purpose, stepping into your confidence, and healing, the process of forgiveness and what that looks like and why that's so important.
All right, we'll include that as well. I'll include both in the show notes so it can be available for our listeners. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, allowing me to share.
Hey, did you like this episode? And don't forget to subscribe and share. And also drop me a line or two. I would love to hear your feedback in the review. Thank you.